He would always have his hands on me.
When you have the priest touching you every day, you know, that's a hard memory to have.
The stories of survivors and the details of the 884-page grand jury report are difficult to hear.
Father Robert Malzahner groomed his middle school students for oral sex by telling them how Mary had to lick Jesus clean after he was born.
The 2-year investigation lays out in graphic detail allegations against more than 300 priests, involving more than 1,000 children. Though the Attorney General says for all the horrific stories of abuse spanning 7 decades, there are probably more victims who didn't come forward. The backbone of the investigation, the church's own records, documenting, prosecutors say, the systematic cover-up.
Above all else, they protected their institution at all cost.
But for all the report reveals, there is still much hidden. The names of more than 24 current and former clergy are redacted as they challenge the findings in court. Among those named as complicit, Archbishop Donald Wuerl, one of America's highest-ranking Catholic officials. He was Bishop of Pittsburgh for 18 years, and while he warned the Vatican of the problem, the report says he helped move abusive priests from church to church. Today, he defended his actions and joined others offering apologies.
I humbly offer my sincere apology.
We all must take this report to heart.
But after scandals in Boston, Dallas, and elsewhere, advocates say that's not enough.
They need civil investigations of these dioceses and not rely on church reporting because we see and have been proven by this grand jury report that they cover up.
The Pennsylvania Attorney General says now that they've lifted the veil of secrecy, the next step, change the statute of limitations, because so many of the crimes listed happened so long ago that many of the priests named will never be charged. Stephen D'Souza, CBC News, New York.
Well, the Vatican declined to comment on the Pennsylvania report. The Catholic Church has struggled, obviously, with sex abuse scandals for many decades, and many Catholics have looked to Pope Francis as a figure who could potentially modernize the church. Earlier this year, Pope Francis became the first pontiff to publicly denounce a culture of abuse and cover-up, and his zero-tolerance approach was put to the test just last month when he accepted the highest-level resignation from the church to date. It was Cardinal Theodore McCarrick, the former Archbishop of Washington, D.C., who stepped down amidst accusations of sexual abuse. Yet observers say Pope Francis's track record in handling abuse is actually mixed. Earlier this year, he drew widespread criticism, defending a Chilean bishop accused of covering up for that country's most notorious abuser priest. He eventually accepted the bishop's resignation.